So I like to buy a lot of stuff off Amazon, but if you don't know the size, I want to make sure it's tight, but I don't want to tighten it too much because this stuff isn't real good metal, man. You'll cause problems. So I'm going to put this other nut on. And I hope that this thing will not move. I should have checked the seat out before I put it this tight. Because I got to put tomorrow, I got to carry one of my toolboxes on the back of here. And I was going to cut a piece of wood and make this a little wider and out and bolt it on here because it's gonna be kind of heavy, but I might go ahead and just put it on top of here because I was gonna bring both of these, put one on one side and one on the other side. But I still might do that. I'm gonna check it out a few times. I only need one tool thing and put it up on here. But that's what you want to do. I'm gonna keep this just in case I need it. Now lock nuts work, but this looks like a cheap lock nut too, man. Maybe if this was a better lock nut, because things are just getting cheap. That's all right. You could buy things and they might be. That's what I noticed about this bike, man. There's a lot of good stuff on it, but some of the stuff they made, it's like they cut a few corners. They wanted the price down. But yeah, this, man, seems like it's not as good one. The part that goes on the seat and top of this is not as good as, man, do I got that upside down? Yeah, see, it looks like maybe, I don't think it really matters. Let me look on this one, because the words are right there. This one doesn't have any words on it. So yeah, I could have flipped this the other way because the words are right here, but I'll play with this. Sometimes it don't matter. I was wondering if that's the problem. I'll just have to play with it when but yeah, lock nuts, I mean, they work. And someone told me too, this could have been the problem, which I just learned about nuts, is after you take a nut off, you always want to replace it. Some guy told me when I was buying some bolts and nuts. And I learned too, there's different strengths of bolts, which you can pay more if you want a stronger bolt. But in this case, we don't need a real strong bolt. So that could be a problem too with the lock nut. With that little plastic in there, once you take it off, you're better off buying a new one and putting it back on. But if you're going to be adjusting a while, but 2 nuts is the way to go. The only problem I had with 2 nuts when I tried to tighten it like that is if they were too small, that it didn't work. Or maybe I didn't tighten it too much. But if they're like a 1/4 inch or bigger, usually I haven't had no problems when I put 2 nuts on. But they're real small, I had some problems. And I don't know what, I forgot what size they were. But that takes care of that. And I should have just bought the only thing about bikes, man, they'll make it so they want you to buy their parts. I don't know if Lectric did this, because with their tires, they're 20 inch by 3 inch. And I wish they would have done the 20 inch by 4 inch on this one. Like, because on the other bikes, they got a lot of 20 inch by 4 inch. For some reason, I always wanted to check out 20 inch by 3 inch tires. But man, I'm going to go with the 4 inch tires because I do a lot of off-roading. And sometimes, but if you're just in the city, and the streets and sidewalks are in pretty good shape, the 20 by 3 inch is good. But also, I wish this would have had front shocks. Like on my e-bike here, I didn't know. I don't got back shocks, but I got front shocks, and these help out a lot, because I can go right up a curb with those front shocks with no problems. You know, I don't go up it fast because I don't want to bend the rim or pinch the tube in there and go flat. So I'll go real slow, or I'll get off the bike a little bit and go up it and then jump all the way back on the bike. But yeah, I'd recommend, if you're gonna be off-roading, I'd recommend 20, at least 4-inch tires and front shocks. But this is a good deal for 1,800 bucks, a little over 1,800, 2 batteries. Cause this thing, man, I can zip through the town real good. I can also, it's lighter. Like if I had to put this on the bus, I would need help. This one I could probably put on a bus rack and by myself, as long as I didn't have a bunch of weight on the back. But this, I can put my laundry bag on the back of this and go right into the laundromat and just put my bike somewhere. This one, if the laundromat's big enough, I could do it too, but but this one has a lot of, you know, advantages and disadvantages. I wish I would have, instead of buying two batteries, I should have just bought one battery, and I should have bought a bigger battery on my own off Amazon, because they want $500 for one of these batteries, unless you're buying the bike and you add one battery, add 2 batteries on, then it'll be $300. But if you just buy the battery without buying the bike, or if you already bought the bike and you want to buy the battery later, these 48 volt 14 amp batteries are 500 bucks, and I can get a 48 volt 24 amp battery for like 400 something on Amazon. You gotta watch buying batteries, because sometimes they don't use good battery cells in there and they can catch on fire if you're charging them. But for another like 120 bucks, 130 bucks, I could have got 10 more amps and a bigger battery. And I bought the splitter, the battery splitter, which this, I'm gonna check out if it has a battery splitter, which, I mean, I'm sure it does. So there's one wire, there's 2 wires. I guess the battery splitter's in here. I'm gonna take this. That looks like where the motor controller is. Or I don't know, or the motor controller might. This looks too small to be the motor controller, but this might be the battery splitter. And the motor controller might be, I don't know, maybe that's the motor controller too. Maybe it's just because a bunch of wires are going in here, but I don't know how you, well, that hole looks pretty small there, but the motor controller might come out in that hole, but I might not be able to. The way they got this set up, I should be able to get to the, but anyways, yeah, good thing I didn't. I should have checked it out. That's the only thing, you can't check this stuff out. But yeah, like on this bike, I'm gonna get a battery. I got the battery splitter, and I'm gonna get a 24 amp or 28 amp 48 volt battery for this. Yeah, that's some more products I'm gonna work on. But there you go. If you got problems with your seat post thing here and your bolts, just buy 2 bolts and switch them out from your other bolt, and you should be good to go. And if this don't work, I'm just gonna buy another one of these connections that are just as good as this other one. Okay, so that's how I fixed that.